Welcome to Selenium automation testing channel. So today I'm going to explain about the hash map. So I'm creating another class. So hash map, it will store the values on the basis of key and value pair. So it stores values on the basis of key and value. Hash map in collection, it will deal with objects, adding, removing, retrieval like that. In the same way, collections also in hash map also adding the objects, but methods are different. So hash map. So hash map is a class. It is implementing the map interface, which is allowed to store on the key and value pair. So here I am using the generics concept. So this comes under the key and value pair. So in hash map, insertion order is not preserved. So now, so in hash map, it will stores on the base of key and value pair. For example, in keys, I can take like 101, 103. In 101, I can give the if you take the ID card number like 101, 102, we have like in this way. So in that way, I can take it, and this all key and value comes under one entry. So these all values comes under one entry. Now I'm adding the objects. We have a method called hm.put. So here by using this method, I'm adding the objects. So I'm taking the students, for instance, Ravi Kumar, Raju. So this is one of the method I'm using to add the objects. But here data structures we are using like key and value pair. Just like in ID card we have like ID number, value will be there, right? So now I will get the all the values by using for loop. So we have one interface called map. In that one inner interface we have entry where we have where get key and get value. Those are the methods, and get key and get values are object. So now I will use those methods like entry m hm dot entry set. So you can see right hash map. So these are the data types. So this is an class. This is an interface. So I'm using the entry set. So I'm importing util.map. Now, so in HashMap, if you see these are the methods: put, add all, remove, extend, compute. So currently I'm using this method. Whatever the values are to retrieve the values I'm using. So I'm getting the key. I'm concatenating. So now I'm printing the values. So simply I'm adding the objects. So I'm adding the objects. Next I'm using the for loop. In that for loop, these are the entry set. By using that methods I'm using. So entry is on interface. So that is a method. And now I will take like one or two, right? Now I will take like same value. So keys in value I'm taking the duplicate value. So I'm running and see whether uh, it will accept the duplicate. So Ravi Kumar. So values can be duplicate. Now I will write the key as a duplicate. It will give the null value. You can see right. So one. So in hash map, keys cannot be duplicate, but values can be duplicate. Now I'm adding the null values also, like hm dot put null. I'm taking null. So if I am taking null also, it is accepting. So it will accept the null values. Now here I will add another null value, but here I will take another value like. So now I am adding the two null values, but it will take the latest null value only. So you can see that null value. So latest null value only it will take. And one more thing, it is non-synchronized. It is non-synchronized. Mean, for example, non-synchronized means multiple threads can access. So we will see that one later. Now I have one employee. So I have one employee class, name, age, and department. So this age and department, I'm taking the hash map. Through that hash map, I will add those. So this is a class. So generally in collections, it will add only objects, right? In the same way, I'm taking the class. In the class, I'm taking the one constructor. So I'm creating one object and I'm adding it. So let's try that one. Employee E1 equal to. So in collections, it will deal only with objects. So that's why I've taken one employee class. That employee class contain name, age. You can see that name, age, and department, right? Name. So I'm taking this object. This object I'm planning to add through HashMap because collections will deal with only objects. In HashMap also, it will deal with key and value pair. Data structures, it is different. So that one I will iterate through for loop and entries it and get the values. So I'm creating three employee class. So I'm creating object. So now I will take the hash map. In the generics, I will add the integer like so in the hash map. So in generics, I'm passing the employee class. You can see right, employee. So this is an object. So now hm do dot put key one. So I'm adding the objects. You can see right. E1 is an one object, a reference object. E2 is an another object. So now I'm adding the objects. In next step, I will iterate through the for loop. I will take entry. Here I will take the generics like hm2 dot entry set. Now I will get the values. Integer m equal to m2 dot get key value. So through employee, I'm taking the key and value pair. E4 dot age So this is an employee reference. So I'm getting the, so here I'm getting the key and I'm getting the values also. Concatenating age, department, name. So now, so simply I'm taking the hash map. I have created the object and here I have taken the constructor. So in hash map I'm adding the objects. So employee objects I'm adding and next step I'm getting those values. Now I will run the program and see. So you can see that all the age, department, everything, it like age, department, name, all the values has been fetched. So now I have another method called hm.remove also. So so we have objects called we can remove also. So now I have added and remove and I have fetched the values also. So in this way I'm using the all the methods. I'm using the one of the methods. You can see right, one or two is like Ravi Kumar. So I will change this one value like 105. 105 I will take it. So now I will check that one or two value has been deleted or not. So that value has been deleted. So in this way, we in HashMap we have used the cover this method like add, remove, and to fetch the values. When it comes to non-synchronized, like suppose I have h1 object and I have h2 and h3 objects. So in h1 accessing, so h1 is accessing one object and h2 accessing another one h2. So suppose if I modify also it won't change. So multiple thread means whenever the any of the it won't wait for another method. Suppose it is accessing h1, so I'm doing modification like modifying the value. So I will take h2. It will also modify. So when I'm modifying that another thread also it won't wait. So when I hit like, for example, if you take like e-commerce in search, I will type MacBook. In that search functionality, multiple users like around like 50,000 users are hitting that 50,000 users are searching like MacBook. At the time, multiple threads are accessing. Even multiple threads are accessing also, it will fetch the values. So when one user is using, when one user is typing MacBook, so other user is not waiting. He is also hitting. Like in the same way, multiple threads also when accessing, it won't. It will work. So it is a non-synchronized. So that's all about the hash map. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.